No news is good news.
It's hip to be square? Which one you want? I want a new drug? Back in time? Oh, I get it.
Didn't we use that last time?
Did we? I thought about that because I was like,
I think
that was
we
the
did.
first one that came to me.
What about, let's do the time warp. Wait. Yeah, let's do the time warp.
It's been recording.
Oh, no, we didn't do it. Last time we did explosions in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Is it going?
It's red, ain't it?
Yeah, I don't think we played Huey Lewis last time you were here. Alex.
No.
Abell.
We could have looked it up. Didn't?
I hate hearing my own voice on any recording,
Oh, dude, I know.
and that's why we don't. We should be cutting up clips. I feel bad. You at least try to clean it up now.
Yep.
Eric Reginger,
Yep.
co-host.
Yep.
Can they see you over the laptop on the video?
No, I don't want them to.
Just want to hide.
I want to get a curtain.
You want to be like the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
The man behind the screen.
You could just easily sit on that side of the table.
Oh, okay, yeah. I might as well do all the other technical shit.
Yeah, can you go get me a coffee downstairs?
Hilarious.
Hey, it's Sweat Equity Podcast. We got to make some jokes. I'm gonna hand over the
Yes.
aux cable in a second.
Thank you.
We gotta let the song play out.
There we
Now,
go.
last time we got into some deep, girthy kind of talk, out of this world kind of talk. We want to talk space talk. Space, what you got? What's your next venture?
What you got for space, Alex?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Take it away.
last time we talked, I was all about time travel and trying to figure out the secrets of time, but you got to figure out all the different dimensions. So space is the new one.
Sounds complicated.
It's very complicated.
They're kind of, in my head, they're kind of related.
They're very related. So the new thing,
So you're not really making a big leap.
it's not a big leap. This
No
one's
pun intended.
This one's a little more practical. You guys are in digital marketing. A lot of your audience is interested or involved in digital marketing, and
We hope.
so,
Yeah.
so we're trying.
If they're not, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Well, it might be a good thing.
No. We want people that need to dip their toe in to the digital world, don't know that lot about it, want to be entrepreneurial, don't know where to start.
there you go.
That's the idea.
But there's all these pockets of digital. I mean, my wife teaches digital marketing at USF, and the curriculum changes every month because it's growing so fast, and it's such a wide universe, basically.
Right. It's infinite possibilities kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oops. That we were off mic before we started, and it's like, how do you even teach that?
Yeah.
I guess you have to teach. The way I would go about that is probably because I was teaching a class at UT, University of Tampa, about a month ago, and I was like, how do I even? These aren't even like this hard. It wasn't even a hard class. It was like the first marketing class.
Oh, yeah.
These marketing majors, they wanted to major in it,
Mhm.
but it was the first one of the curriculum, and I'm like, all you can kind of really teach is theory, right? Because it's going to change so much, so you have to kind of like, it's kind of like learning how to box.
Mhm.
Like the way boxing boxing can change. It might go to heavyweight, more, or maybe more UFC is kind of a better example. Cause,
Well, MMA.
yeah, because like MMA, it may have been more wrestling in the beginning and more chokeouts. And I don't know much about the sport. I like it from afar.
Dude, I was watching old UFC the other day, and they would, beat the shit
There
out
was
of a
always
guy.
blood, right?
There was never okay, he's out,
Right,
stop
right.
beating him. It was just like a guy standing over him, kicking him in the head. And
Yeah,
they're
they went heavy hitters to gain that attention.
Yeah.
I think in the 90s.
yeah, they all had personalities. They all looked like they were from Street Fighter.
Exactly. They went like WWF back when it was called WWF.
Yeah, I
and
still call it that too.
I know. I have
What's
a
it
hell
called
is-
now?
WWE Entertainment.
Exactly.
WWF is World Wildlife Federation, I think, or something like
Yeah.
The panda, right?
Yep.
that. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you know it. You know what's going on.
Yeah.
And shout out to my buddy John Abrams, who had a Huey Lewis in the News. He has a play that was in a musical that was in San Diego. My good friend Carrie. Dude,
Musicals are garbage.
look, I would say yes normally, but
I can't say
I'd,
that.
I'd go see Huey Lewis in the News, a musical. I get away with some good theater points.
If it's Huey Lewis in the News music, maybe.
So
And
my
it's
wife
my
and I
buddy
just
who
went
made
to a Simon and Garfunkel musical, and I was like, it's not actually Simon and Garfunkel, so how great can this be? But it was pretty stellar.
Yeah, I would go. I'm not gonna go see Cats.
Yeah.
No.
Like if John was like, "Hey man, I'm writing for Cats now," because that's about to re up. By the way,
Writing for it.
yeah, you have to write like they're about to reboot it.
What do you?
Cats
no, I thought-
rebooted. Cats in
Cats-
space.
Yeah,
Like the story?
Idris Elba is about to be in Cats. Stringer.
Lost a lot of points.
Yeah.
Stringer Bell.
Yeah. Look, I don't know why I absorb this information I hear once, but
Me
really,
neither.
really pertinent information I need to know for myself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
But I heard that on fucking some podcast news and was like, oh, got that one forever.
I
Anyway,
don't know. It's not going to beat Book of Mormon. Once you see that, it's like,
Right,
What
right.
what else is going to top
Right.
this?
Or what's the Hamilton? I want to see that one. It's
so
like $1,000
someone
bucks
broke
to
it down
see.
and was like, do I want to see a bunch of people rapping about?
Yeah, I know.
About
I was like,
history.
that's not the rap I like.
Yeah.
When I heard about it, I was like,
I
that
want
sounds
Noriega.
stupid. Yeah.
Is it one of those things where people want to see it because they hear other people say, "Oh, you want to see
Yes,
this?"
and you can't be like, oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'll say it sucks.
Yeah, it builds a
Haven't seen it.
fervor. I think a lot of stuff builds up like that. Where I think Book of Mormon was like almost ubiquitously good, whereas some things pick up steam and you're like, I don't care what you say, I'm not going to see once. Like
Yeah.
I saw that movie, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, back to teaching this stuff because you've got a little bit of what I'm trying to do as far as like explain digital to people
Yeah.
for no money.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of what the show is a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, I think you have to teach it in a way that's philosophical and not too rigid, right?
Yeah.
So if you're teaching biology, that's going to be rigid.
Oh yeah.
That's not going to change very much in your whole lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
frog
a
is a
cell
frog,
a cell
right?
is a cell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but with digital, that's why I think I moved more towards from an advertiser standpoint where I had a focus, 5 years ago, more to the strategy side. So that's kind of the marketing funnel and workflows and like things like that. That's kind
Yeah.
of where I've kind of put a lot of my attention now.
Yeah, I think there's some foundational stuff like you're talking about it's really not going to change. Like the P's, I mean, granted
Four
there were
Ps.
4 P's, now there's like 5 P's.
Yeah.
That stuff does it adjust a little bit.
What are they, Eric? I don't know them off the top of my head, honestly.
Perpetuity,
Mm-hmm.
pornography,
Okay. Yep.
platypuses.
This is the internet.
This is all, yeah. I'm not Googling it. Make it up.
I can't remember any of them, honestly. There's two. I saw infographic because I've been into data visualization,
Yeah.
business boner stuff on Pinterest.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get my Pinterest on.
You
And
got on Mantrist?
was there a
Or
Mantrist?
Mintrist, I think it is.
No way.
Yeah.
Is there really?
thing.
I don't trust that. I'm not putting
This
that
better
in my
not be like
browser.
lemonparty.org.
Yeah, what that is.
Pin,
Well,
Isle-
that's
Pin
what-
Island. Pin Island.
Do you know what lemon party is?
No.
Let's not do that. Alex is so nice.
So
Don't taint him.
he'd think it's funny. I hope. Basically, the way it was set up to me, that site's a shock site, I guess it's called. That was a set up to me by a buddy of ours, Dave Williams. I think when I was 16. So
Nice.
that's almost 20 years ago.
How long did that take to download?
It was like 1/3 like.
Oh, so you got the nice slow burn on that.
So
That's even worse.
It's like Tub Girl. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh boy.
I've got so much catching up to do
Nah.
on naughty internet things.
If for the real curious out there listening or watching us talk about this, you can feel free to do it and tell me your thoughts. I want to hear it because I want to see what you think. So, and I'll you can pause right now.
And then
and
never
then we'll
come back.
Right. Just make sure to give us a 5-star on the way out.
But no, you're totally right about how you have to break it down because if you can go to the fundamentals. So like another example is like AIDS. I don't know if you guys are familiar with
AIDS?
that.
Yeah.
Not AIDS, AIDS, but it's like
We both went for it.
but it's like the whole I guess customer
Grids?
journey. You hear customer journey thrown around all the time. I work in corporate America. It's
So-
all about the customer journey. So it's awareness, interest, decision, action.
It's right behind you on the whiteboard behind you.
yeah.
Is my opus that I've been trying to work on, figuring out a way to make it simple and detailed at the same time. To explain, I do the marketing funnel from both sides, online and offline,
Okay.
and I'm drawing that customer journey. So
Mhm.
the new branding we'll do for our website probably in the next month is the homepage design is going to be the funnel, but part of it is since we have kind of the camping theme, it's going to be a little dotted line like you're in a map.
Oh, I like that.
And so
that's the Tocobaga?
Yeah, Tocobaga is
Tocobaga. I got it wrong last time.
It's okay, dude. It's basically a made-up word.
He mispronounces my last name on every episode.
I do it on purpose, though.
I hope so.
It's right? That's how you say it?
Red ginger.
Red ginger.
Red ginger. But then if you look behind you, so people stop the funnel where the transaction happens, be it a lead or a sale or whatever. Yeah. Then you have the workflow if you're a service business, right? Then you have then it should billow back out. The funnel should go back out into that. How do I remarket? How do I get more out of the existing clients?
Yeah.
Then how do I make them loyal to the game, as Tupac would say? And then how do I make them advocates, which is kind of like your Oprah people that are, like they will push whatever Oprah used to push.
So the Toka Book Club?
Yeah, something like that.
Just for anybody waiting on the 5 Ps, I remembered them. Their product, price, placement, promotion, and people.
What a good
So
memory.
easy.
Yeah.
I just like had to dig deep. It was in there.
From Piper Paraboo, she created them.
So yeah, so you have those concepts that they could adjust and shift over time, but they're not really anything groundbreaking. But like at my day job at Ashley, we have someone that handles influencer marketing, and
sure.
I don't even know if that was a thing, like especially not 10 years ago, but
send them our way.
And y'all are such a big brand that makes sense, right? Yeah. A lot of people will talk to us. We're on the small, medium business level. It's like we're not. Don't worry about that influencer thing you heard about. Yeah. Like that's not going to work for, a gross revenue of $2 million.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you have to have some pretty big budgets to make that stuff work. But
y'all are what we would consider a large business, and that changes too. You know, some people do it by employees, some people do it by gross revenue. We're just industry; it's just different relative to what your competition is. But it's weird. I think like the basics to me, and this is why I always start with every client is, what are your objectives? Give me your top 3. Yep. I'm trying to break it down in a way that doesn't feel as stuffy, because that's the approach a lot of people will take. They're either really, really stuffy or way too loose.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get right in the middle with that. And so I just go, what are your top 3 things you want to do?
Yeah.
And then, because I like a rule of 3s, it's the best way to write jokes as a cheat code if you ever need to do a toast. Yeah, you can go da-da, 1, da-da, 2, big punchline 3. And it has a rhythm. People like that. It's like the golden ratio of logos.
It's like the iambic pentameter of comedians.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh,
yeah.
Good word.
Dropping poetry on it. I like it. But yeah, I mean, there is rhythm to it, but a lot of people can keep three goals in their head. Yeah, most people don't even think about it.
But it's crazy because working in corporate America for so long, like a lot of teams don't even know how to conceptualize their goals. Like if you ask them, what is your goal? They'll go straight to like, oh, we got to get more revenue, or oh, we need more leads.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because that's a good kind of thing to go over. I don't know if we've gone over it in this podcast ever, really. I mean,
we do a little bit of that on our own.
We do,
sort of thing.
Well, it's I learned in high school. I had a good economics teacher actually, and he was like, he asked the class like, what? Give me like a New Year's resolution as a goal, and I think I've said like go to church more or something like that. He's like, that's a shitty goal. This is at a Catholic school too.
I like this guy.
Yeah, he was. I got an A in the class. All business classes for some reason got an A and didn't realize it until later.
Was he like, you actually said the right answer to go to church?
No, he was. He would challenge me because I was the funniest kid in the class, kind of thing. So I would break the class a lot of the time. That's where I won class wit, probably. That was my superlative, not class clown.
Man, I don't have my regular soundboard. I need a nobody cares button.
Yeah, no.
Nobody cares. I'll do my own sound effect.
I'll let the non replies from y'all be that kind of thing. So so that's not a goal because it doesn't have a date. It doesn't have anything quantifiable.
So you have to have the smart goals. It gets thrown around all the time. You guys know
smart goals.
Yeah.
Is that like smart water?
Yeah, it's usually
electrolytes. Let's just brand it with smart in front of it. And
50 Cent, I think, is behind it. And,
yeah.
No, smart is specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and timely.
Sure.
I spend way
I
too much
believe
time
it.
in corporate America,
No,
guys.
no,
We
that's-
throw around all these acronyms
No,
all day long.
and that's another thing. That's why I can't do corporate America anymore, because you have like, okay, this is something handed down from these consultants from beyond, and it's
Yeah.
like, this doesn't really get to you. Like,
Yeah.
you memorize it because I think you have an interest in all of it, but
Yeah.
I don't think it works on a lot of people, because it's like, hey, think of another acronym to figure out this thing. Don't use SMART,
Yeah.
right? If you really want it to use platypus, now
There
you
you
got to
go.
work within that
People, yeah,
context.
people remember it. If it's
Do
a
that fucking
platypus goal.
Sudoku.
They did call it the customer journey. If I was in a training class and I heard that, I'd be like,
How many touch points?
call
How
it
many?
what it is or whatever. Quick changing the names.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. It's so digital changes, but there's no standardization of terms. So it's like what an impression is to someone, it could be wildly different,
Yeah.
even though that should be standard.
Well, I'm actually so at the end of this month, I'm talking to IIBA, the International Institute
Too
for
many
Business
acronyms.
Analysts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, a bunch of business analysts, and they kind of are the bridge between the IT side of house and the marketing and sales side of house.
Uh-huh.
And the whole presentation is about basically everybody being on different planets. Taking it back to space. There's two different planets
Wow,
for
you
the
see that callback?
for the business and for
Huh.
IT. And just like you could imagine, if we had a space invasion with aliens, they're not going to speak English. So it's exactly that.
Yeah.
What is an impression? What is a placement? What is conversion?
Yeah. And so when I sit down with people, I go, I want to know three things. I want to know what is the average cost of a lead, because we usually start with marketing with people first. What's the average cost of a lead?
Mm-hmm.
What's the average cost of a conversion
Mm-hmm.
or acquisition?
CPA.
And then what's but that's already a thing. So like, we can't call it that or CPC
Yeah.
for some people, but that's cost per click to other people.
Yeah.
So I'll go backwards and do that again. So what's the cost per lead, cost per transaction or sale,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's the lifetime value of a customer or client?
So what's
Or
each customer
patient.
worth over their lifetime?
Yeah, because you may eat it a little bit more on the front end, and you may have working capital to pay more for a lead than you should,
Yeah.
or an acquisition. But if that person comes back forever, hairstylist it comes
I was
to
gonna
my
say
head.
dental office. I mean, that's the thing. It's like
You're in
Yeah,
that.
you know,
You don't change dentists often.
no, you don't. And
hairstylist
that's
is-
where you got to get them in the door.
Hairstylist is you come in once you come in and that's your girl for a cut and color.
Mm-hmm.
They
She
got
knows
you.
all your secrets.
That's your therapist, and they got you every 6 to 8 weeks, and it's $150 every time you go.
So I want to segue real quick though. Why are haircuts so expensive? Like, I
Because
don't know
the
if it's just
market demands
Tampa,
it.
because like $50
Suckers.
for a haircut for a men's haircut.
Where you're going? I don't know where you're
50?
going.
It was like $30. There's a place I live near Hyde Park.
You
Go-
got good hair too. You
go
might want to spend
$50.
Go
it.
to my lesbians down the street at
So
Ybor.
check this out. Here's my new thing. My wife is like, "I'll cut your hair."
Yeah.
That's what I was saying
terrified.
when I still cared for my wife. I'm like, can you just learn how to cut my hair? Like,
Yeah.
it would take 5 minutes. Not that much. It's like the scissors go right through this
Yeah.
shit. It's like down.
Well,
It's not real hair.
I'm not sure if I was more scared or if she was, but we did it. So my last haircut, she did it, and there's some gaps in there. But I mean, I saved $50.
Yeah, that's not
Your
bad.
hair looks the exact same.
Exactly.
I couldn't tell,
Yeah.
but
No, we weren't like,
Yeah.
oh,
dudes can't tell.
Somebody got a
dudes
shitty
can't
haircut.
tell.
If you can tell a woman's haircut, you get major points.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm
also the opposite of that if you don't notice
yep.
the haircut.
You're
That's a problem.
you're in the dungeon putting the lotion on.
Notice anything different? You better find something.
Right. Shit. This is like Highlights magazine. Like that. The thing is, like, if people can tell me those three things, then we can start goal setting for real.
Yeah.
Because people don't know how to budget, so it goes to budget too. So
Yeah.
I have this conversation almost every time, and I got to figure out a way to teach it in a short video kind of way, because and maybe you can help us with that, because part of the reason you were over here was to talk about maybe using the studio, and we'll do that. We don't do that on air because that'd be boring. But
Yeah.
but like, budget is relative, right? It's not flat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a percentage.
Oh yeah.
And so I tell a lot of people, look, SBA.gov, because we're in that small medium sector. So it's kind of like, hey, good rule of thumb, 10% of your gross revenue should go to marketing.
Yeah.
And we can just start there,
Mhm.
right? Not everything's going to go to us as the managed service company that you're
It'd be
hiring.
nice, but yeah.
It'd be nice, but the idea is not, it could stay at 10% and we'll grow it,
Yeah.
right? Because we'll be part of that, and we specialize in this area, and that we want to grow with the clients is kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Genuinely, not like in a sales pitch kind of way. Like it is a sales pitch, but I do actually feel that way when I'm talking to someone.
But do you think, just real quick, do you think it's do you think that percentage sometimes allows or forces or whatever, like basically because of that because it is a percentage, they can become kind of lazy and not really focus on the actual performance. Like you have to set the goals.
Oh, sure. So we got to set the KPIs, the key performance indicators within those goals.
Yeah.
But to keep it simple, and especially for the audience listening, I'm not going to get into the weeds about like, here's the dashboards we're going to have at every step. That's kind of more on us internally to do. That's like, all right, we need to hit X amount of clicks, and you kind of go down the funnel as you go, right? So
well, I think that's the dangerous part though that I see is it's all about setting the right goals. So you're spot on with saying you have to set the right goals.
Yeah.
And 3, I think, is a great number. But if your goal, for example, is just increasing traffic to the website,
I can get you all the Chinese traffic you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, really.
We can send all the dark web traffic.
And I'll take
over
10% of that. You know, like it's.
And that's we're usually getting people on the rebound.
Yeah.
We're the boyfriend that came along after abused girlfriend, abused
shoulder
wife
to
or
cry
whatever.
on.
Yeah.
Dirty guy hanging out at the bar.
So there's already a weird kind of like, I've got my guard up. You've got to. I'm really hoping all these kind of meetings we've been doing for 3.5 years is like, once we get to like maybe more qualified kind of conversations, that it becomes so much easier to talk about this, because it's like we're dealing with like the stingiest of people that distrust the internet the most.
Yeah, I think the biggest example of that is SEO companies, because
they fucking rip off everybody.
Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, it's going to take about 6 to 8 months to start seeing some traffic and some climb on the search engine page. But I mean, a lot of times they're not doing anything; they're just waiting.
Oh yeah, we'll put this WordPress plugin called Yoast in there, and we'll just let that do most of it, and then we'll do about an hour of work a month, and then it's like a business plan almost. It's like, whether it works or it doesn't, we don't care.
Yeah.
You paid us for it. Because
it's a shame.
That is really what we rail against. I'm really tempted to almost call that out in some video ads we're going to start doing.
But you brought up another good point earlier in the
I know.
So many good points.
Like,
good points left and right. But you talked about the language, and so not only aligning clients on the right goals, or even in corporate America, aligning teams on the right goals, but
what's the lead?
The language you have to have a common dictionary.
Yep.
And that doesn't exist in digital marketing right now.
Yeah, like a pre-meeting of glossary terms. When you have these meetings, listen, I'm going to say this a bunch, I'm going to say this a bunch, this is what I'm talking about, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like send a video ahead of time. You got to watch this before I come in, or else it's going to be really confusing. We're going to get there.
Or like a handout. If it's face-to-face,
people won't read it, though, unless you make it an infographic.
No, you stand there and be like, read it. I'm watching your eyeballs.
You got to make it visual. That's why I'm focusing on the funnel kind of thing, to be visual, so I can go, here's top of the funnel. Here's how remarketing works, and have that kind of little line up there. But the Florida bar is something I have to look at all the time, because we have a lot of law firm clients. And so the more I look at that, the more I go, oh, this is a standardization union. This is... This keeps the checks and balances of attorneys and law firms. Yeah. In a way they had to come up with that.
They've made themselves relevant by being the certifying body, but even more importantly than that, they have
American bar.
They have that dictionary, and there's structure and there's different levels to it.
So it'll happen in digital. I just don't know if it'll happen soon enough. I feel like a lot of what I'm trying to do. It's funny, I get labeled a miscommunicator at home, but I feel like that's most of my job, is to go, okay, how do I make this in your terms using stand-up crowd work?
Don't you think the cat's out of the bag, though? How are these people going to come together and all agree on it? Because everybody wants their own terms.
Yeah. Right.
I'm calling it this now.
It's like programmers. It's like programmers and scientists, man. They want to put their stank on it. It's so weird. I don't know why both those professions, which are both super nerds, but we had Christian Reddy in here, and he's talking about, he's a friend of ours that's a comedian, and he's a scientist by day.
Nice.
And he talks about they have to put their stank on it. They got to put their name on this research they've done.
Have you heard of the term bike shedding?
No.
So this is one of my favorite.
I did make a racist Mexican bike stealing joke earlier.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yep. But
In theory.
let's
sorry.
hear
In
the. I
theory.
want to just quit it with the Mexican jokes for a second.
Two of my favorite principles of management come from this guy Parkinson. I don't even know the guy's first name, but he's.
I got a feeling where this is going.
For one.
Oh, is it a different guy?
I'm shaky.
Ground, yeah.
Oh.
So Parkinson's principle.
We're going to hell.
Parkinson's principle is the amount of time needed, or the amount of time necessary to complete a task expands to fill the amount of time given to complete a task.
Yeah.
And so it's just basically we're all
It's like
progressing.
air.
Yeah.
One more time.
So the amount of time needed to complete a task will expand to fill the amount of time given to complete a task.
I don't
So like
understand.
air, if you put air and compress it down, it'll fill the container it's in. If you put it in a bigger container, it'll distribute itself through. Basically,
Like
just saying
goldfish?
if you give
Well, so-
somebody a bunch of time, they're going to take all the time
Exactly.
they need
Yeah,
that they have.
goldfish?
Yeah, so let's say that you have a law client, you guys have a legal client,
Yeah.
and they say, I need a new landing page, and I need it by Friday. You're going to get it done by Friday.
Maybe.
Or hopefully you'll get it done by Friday.
Tell me
can.
when I'm going to get it done.
it depends on what we usually do the retainer, so it depends on what
Yeah.
situation. But yeah, I can.
Yeah. But,
I might.
but the same job, if they say, oh, we need it in a month, it'll be about the same work, but what you do is you prioritize your time accordingly.
Oh yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about this on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, But that's a weird segue. But the other principle, or the it's called bike shedding, and it's from an example that he used. It's called
Stealing Huffies.
Parkinson's law of triviality.
Found a Schwinn.
So this is
I'm listening, Alex.
yeah. Thank you. Okay, this is my favorite. It's especially relevant in corporate America. You have the example he uses is it's basically how things die by committee. Because you have a committee that's assigned to build a nuclear power plant.
Okay.
They're given this like $200 million budget. Just flex with me because it probably costs a lot more than that to build one. But the three tasks that they've been assigned are build the power plant, build a bike shed for the employees of the power plant, and come up with the coffee maker that goes into the break room.
Okay.
And so his example, he said they spend all of their time discussing the bike shed.
It's $2 billion for
There you go,
power
$2
plant.
billion. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Save
That's
up.
coal though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Coal is
Clean
bad.
coal? Or?
Yeah, clean coal's not real. But anyway,
I know.
coal's not that bad.
Sorry, I guess it should have been more obvious.
I'm nuclear though. I'm good with that.
Nuclear, I like it.
Or nuclear.
So, but they spend time talking about which kind of roof to go on it and which kind of storage capabilities, because building a nuclear power plant is really hard and nobody wants to touch that.
Yeah, I
because
played
the budget.
SimCity.
There you go. But and then
You just flop it in there.
and then it's trivial to talk about the coffee maker. Nobody cares. But like these middle ground things, that's what people spend a lot of time on. And so that's what happens in anything like that, where people are just
The bike shed.
the bike shedding. I call it bike shedding when you have like a group of 3 or 4 people trying to come up with a decision on something, and they just keep on talking because they all want to put their stink on it.
Yeah.
That's why we like to work alone. I
Well-
don't like all these opinions.
I feel like I always try to keep that in check. It's a writer's room kind of thing too.
Yeah.
If you sit down and write a bunch of jokes for script, we're about to do it starting in a couple weeks
Nice.
with us two and a friend of the program, Matt Fernandez. Like you want to put your stank on it, but at the end of the day, you always have to remind whoever the manager is of the project, and I'll probably have to be the PM because I'm the
Yeah.
go-between, is just you have to remind whatever's best for the thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if you write 0 jokes. You're already through the finish line,
Yeah.
right? If you write 0 jokes, you just don't get hired the next time, probably. That's how I always look at it.
That
Like
makes sense.
you're through as long as you're doing input and genuine about it. But if
But you could
Shit
be
doesn't make
helping
it.
people along the path of a joke, sort of thing. You
Right,
know,
no, but-
might not be yours.
exactly, you might have jogged the thought of someone to get to the punchline,
Right.
Or the other way for this is like you're doing creative on an ad campaign. It may not have been your idea, but
Mhm.
maybe you jogged the thought of the person. Maybe you're the muse
Yeah.
that got the person there.
Yeah.
Good Albert Brooks movie? No.
The Muse.
No. Sharon Stone? Something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But let's talk, because now we do kind of sound like imposters to some people listening that are corporate.
What? Because I don't know your made-up movie.
No. We didn't know the 5 Ps or the 4 Ps.
I did. You guys didn't say it.
We didn't know how much
I
a power
remembered
plant
it.
cost. We didn't know a lot of things. I read through your blog post about imposter syndrome, which last time you brought up Dunning-Kruger when you were here, you may have to re-explain those kind of, both are similar kind of area of concept.
So Dunning-Kruger, it's two researchers. They did a study. They found that when people know just a little bit about a subject, they tend to disproportionately estimate their knowledge on the subject.
So think of it like is someone like super confident on cocaine.
Yeah, that's if somebody's just come into a research area, certain people, then they tend to overestimate their experience on it.
Dude, I know about management. Oh,
Yeah. Look,
come in the bathroom with me. I'm going to talk to you about management, okay? All right?
We'll start our own business in the bathroom. That's what we're going to do.
Just Gary V.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've been working on my Gary V. I got to listen to it. Bro, I'm not gonna retweet you, okay? All right?
That was pretty good, but he didn't drop enough F-bombs. So.
Oh, I was getting there. I
Okay.
couldn't think of anything he says because I've been abstaining from his content.
Yeah.
But it's
a little bit.
But it's exactly that. Is people that are the most confident, that are almost overconfident, they don't really know. They probably don't know a whole lot about the subject because they've just stopped. They've learned something. They went to a conference or they read a book or something, and they just stopped there and they're like, I'm good. I'm the expert. I'm the Gary V. I'm the bathroom consultant. Whatever.
Yeah.
And the opposite.
They're called attendants, but yeah.
Yeah.
They give out the mints.
I just didn't get to push the button.
I never tip them. I can't do it.
Oh, you got to tip those guys.
For what?
I don't know.
For something I didn't want?
I know.
Yeah.
Get
They
out
hand
of the
you towel- they
bathroom,
hand you the
creep.
towel,
Get out of
man.
my fucking conversation,
It's a
dude. Why are you
private place.
Yeah.
Get out of here. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
You exist to. I don't know why the restaurant put you in here.
I hate that.
Yeah,
The forced.
I could do a whole
Interaction.
podcast on that.
Oh, yeah.
It was just
bathroom attendants.
I fucking hate them. I don't know.
Or
Not
forced
them.
valet parking when you go to a hotel and they make you valet your car
And then they
and it's
expect
20
the
bucks.
tip,
Yeah.
and they don't move the seat back.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'll break into that valet lot. I don't give a shit about
I'll
those
steal
cars.
fucking Huffy out
Yeah.
of there. I'll bike shed the shit out of it.
There you go.
Park it myself.
But it's all around me at least, and even the freelancers that I work with, it's the opposite. So the imposter syndrome is kind of the opposite of that. And once you start to learn more and more, you realize like there's a lot of stuff that I'm never going to know
That's
about this.
that's a good life metaphor.
Yeah.
The older you get, you know you don't know shit.
Yeah.
And then
Well, it's low self-esteem too.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit. It's going to dovetail into kind of what the other part we were going to talk about is the movement. I guess you'd call it. You're trying to get going, but you know, it is isolating to work in digital.
Yeah.
You can hole up. Like I've had it in this office where you feel like John Gruden writing the plays up and just kind of going nuts by yourself and.
Yeah.
And just you can work until you can work until really any time. And
Yeah.
like I had to really work on that discipline wise to like cut it
Get
off.
that balance kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I do a B&I group mostly just to make sure in the beginning just to make sure I was somewhere Wednesday morning.
What is BNI?
The Business Networking International.
Okay.
I'll take you to it. It's kind of like a cult.
don't go.
It works. It's good. It's
You had me at cult.
it's like Scientology. No, I like it because I had to figure out something or else you can work forever. But
yeah.
it's also like I do get a lot of questions like, how come you don't know about this for websites? I'm like, I don't know everything. I'm a generalist.
But that's the way you should be. That's my argument is that the people that are walking around faking it till they make it.
They make more money than us though.
They
They do.
do.
Not in
Yeah,
the long
they do.
run.
They usually end up in management positions.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
In the long run, I do see telling people straight up, hey, I don't know that, but I will find someone who does.
You have to. I'll find out someone who does, or I'll go find out.
And then I actually
get
do
back
it.
to you. Yeah, you have to follow it up. You can't just be like, I don't know.
Well, it'll annoy me too.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a potential client yesterday. She's like, "You charge $186.50 an hour," and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Okay, helicopter pilot is like $75 an hour." I was like, "Okay," and I was like, she's trying to break down the pricing. I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, if you want to get into a pricing conversation, we can do this, but hey, the helicopter pilot." And I didn't say this
Yeah.
in there, but I wish I did.
My brother-in-law's a helicopter pilot, so
What's his price per hour? Because now I'm going to
no.
look it up.
he's in Germany. So I'll have to find out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, this is already getting fishy.
Well, what are the clients at? Yeah. Sure.
So I was like, look, well, okay, helicopter pilot at $75 an hour, he might be in the wrong occupation,
Yeah.
right? Just because it's risky doesn't mean he deserves more money because we're soft skilled people.
Well, and
We're the thing that brings in money.
yeah, and it's
for
one
you.
trip.
It's not a
so, like,
sunk cost.
that trip's not going to have continual ROI for them, like marketing or advertising.
Exactly. I was just like, I got more into market demand and supply, which I wish I would have gone, hey, I can give you our cost rate versus our bill rate, and I can tell you that. Plus, we're an agency model, so internally our agency model is not just me as an attorney, like billing by hour. We arrived at this number through more data.
Yeah.
And if anything, we're low.
Yeah.
Well, we underestimate our hours.
But
so there's an hours component to it, but I mean, it's like we're still low by standard.
But kind of bringing it full circle, even so, that concept of there's digital marketing, this whole big universe.
Yeah.
There's freelancing or consulting.
Right.
And like you said, you feel like you're alone sometimes, and you guys are like, well, maybe we charge too much. Maybe we should do it this way. Maybe we should structure contracts like that. And like,
that's how it came out, because our contracts are 17 pages long.
Oh yeah, but where do you go to learn if that's if you're doing it right, or if you're
You got to tune your fork, kind of like we were talking about at the beginning with teaching digital marketing, because you essentially become a teacher while you're doing this, and you just have to stick to these main, as Bert Kreischer calls them, your nautical beacons. What's keeping you in the buoys? He uses that from a mentor standpoint. Who are the people that are these people keeping you in line? Yeah. I consider him one of them for me, but in terms of in a very distant kind of way. But for digital marketing, it's kind of like, look, the funnel's always going to be the funnel. It's always going to be there. There's always going to be a sales and marketing funnel, whether it has 6 layers or 3. Yeah, that's different per industry. If you're a service industry, it's going to be different than a product company, right? That's our 2-minute warning.
Uh-oh.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Cut out that middle parts, which we'll lay over.
Yeah, we might need some NBA. Is that NBA Jam?
No, it's the NFL.
He's on fire.
I thought we were getting some NBA Jam stuff in here.
I'm sorry, sir. I did not get to that yet.
Are texts coming through? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Fermidox.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the good idea. Like both you and I were simultaneously had this idea of like, and a bunch of other people of why isn't there a better community locally, like in person kind of thing?
Yeah, like a bar association for digital marketers.
Yeah, eventually that'll have its it has value, right?
Yeah.
Especially like I used to get in fights with my baby mama about why I give keys. I give keys to the freelancers in here.
Yeah.
That I use a lot. And I go, I want people around me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
a lemon party.
I want entrepreneurial people around me because it gives me juice. It makes me kind of like
give that energy.
Yeah, and we share information more importantly than anything.
Well, that's what we found. So we started doing these mixers, and a lot of people are asking us for more of the educational kind of sessions. But I found these mixers to be really beneficial because it's just socializing, but you're socializing with people that are doing the same stuff,
bitching about the same stuff.
Yeah, they have the same problems, or they're going through the same struggles, and that can be worth its weight in gold when everybody feels like they're on an island.
So where do we send people that are local in the Tampa Bay area?
Yeah, if you're local in Tampa Bay, just Fermidox.com, Fermidox.com. It's everything's space themed because again, I'm a big nerd.
We didn't even get to it really.
It's cool. You'll see it when you go to the website.
Cover space.
Space is cool. I'm down with space.
Same.
Interstellar will make me cry if I watch it. Because I'm like, how does this? I don't even know how this works.
He goes back and his daughter's all grown up.
God damn it.
Dude,
he's on Saturn?
It's so good.
Ugh.
How is he even on Saturn? That blows my fucking mind.
It wasn't Saturn, but...
It wasn't?
Oh.
It's a different planet
altogether?
altogether?
It's like another galaxy, dude.
Oh, it looks like Saturn.
I don't know if you can walk around on Saturn.
I think it was inside the 4th dimension.
Oh, it was?
Well, eventually.
Fuck. Now my mind's even more fucked. Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for fucking blowing my goddamn mind.
Check out sweatequitypod.com. Roku channel. We got a Roku channel now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big pain in the ass for something that nobody will watch.
Thanks, Eric. We're
right.
on LinkedIn.
I'm going to go
Vimeo.
download your Roku channel.
Thank you. Give it 5 stars, por favor.
Start wearing purple.